Sporting touch of hands. Round number one. There's that fast start. And that is the fastest knockout in bare knuckle fighting championship.
K-Bomber, born in the Bronx, raised in Dade. Been in the city since Pit had braids. Bahapanti parties, plata know how to sneak me out. Now it's 7-figure meetings, every day we lead a house. It's game time, the game's mine, you know the vibe. Yo viajado el mundo entero, reppin' 305.
Welcome everybody to another episode of Don't Blink. I got two nights in the building. I don't go nowhere without them. Today we got a very special guest, man.
Yes.
He's my brother. Wagwan, my brethren. Dr. 305. Dr. Richard Alexander, man, from Spine, Miami, baby. How you doing, my brother?
I'm feeling great.
Hell
I
yeah.
appreciate that. You see that?
2 weeks in a row I do the same shit.
No,
Man,
it's because you've been training for that fight, boy. Look at this,
That
boy. Look at this, boy.
left hand is no joke, man. Much love, though. Much respect, man. I
brother.
appreciate y'all having me out.
Yes, sir. Thank you for coming through, man. We truly appreciate it. Appreciate you and you family, dog.
Thank you, man.
yeah.
Thank you.
He done
It's
got
good to
my
be here.
back and went.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I actually went to go see him today, bro. I got my neck right, got the middle of my back right.
Damn, no wonder you came in here spitting some fire, bro.
Yeah, man. Unlock that nervous system. You gotta keep your nervous system on point.
No, I told him as soon as he cracked my neck, I'm like, bro, I felt blood flow straight to my head. I was like, I needed that, bro.
Now we got to get the terminology right now, Uly. We got to,
Let's
it's
go.
an adjustment now.
Oh,
Come on.
my bad. I don't want to scare people like this. It's an adjustment.
This is an adjustment, An adjustment.
The way he says it, it's an adjustment.
It is.
Yeah.
No,
it has to be specific to be an
and he always
adjustment.
corrects me because I always fuck it up, bro.
You can pay $10 to somebody to crack your back, but I do adjustments.
Yeah. Hey, man, great to have you here,
Thank
my
you, man.
brother.
Thank you.
It's awesome. It's an honor.
Feels good.
My brother, let's start from the beginning, man. You got a dope, interesting story. We've been through it a couple times, but I want the people to know, you know what I mean? Let them know where Dr. Richard Alexander comes from and how we got to where we're at today, bro.
All right, let's go. Where you want to start at?
You tell me, man. I like to start from the beginning, man. The childhood, bro. Where you got, born and raised at.
So, kind of like two nights, born in the Bronx, raised in Dade.
Hey.
Awesome.
Like a lot of families up in New York at that time in the early 80s, it was rough up there, man. When you watch the movie The Warriors, I remember that New York.
Of course.
Yeah.
I remember that New York.
Warriors, come out and play.
I remember the Bronx, and it was like a war zone at times.
For sure.
And, my family made the decision, come down to Miami, you might have a better quality of life, and we came down, we settled down south.
That's awesome, man. How old were you when you came down here?
I was 6 when I came to Miami.
Oh, shit, you were a baby.
But the thing is, New York left an indelible mark on me. I never really left New York because even though we came down, a lot of our family stayed there, and we were constantly going back. So, we started out in New York and then came down to Miami. And
what part was it? The Bronx? That's the part you were from?
Yeah, the Bronx and Queens, we kind of bounced around. You know, my family came from Jamaica.
Right.
So, like a lot of families from Jamaica, when they came to America, they lost everything. A lot of people aren't aware of that, but when the British gave us our freedom, gave us our independence as a country, they saddled us with debt with the World Bank and just bankrupted the country. So if you had, say, a home that was owned worth $1 million, right, in Miami, and then all of a sudden tomorrow they say, you know what, Miami, you guys been saying that you want to be your own state. We're going to, be your own state. Miami, the 51st state, Miami. But you owe us $2 trillion. And your house in Pinecrest that was worth $5 million is worth $50,000.
Yeah.
What are you going to do? So a lot of families had to come up here and hustle, and it scattered the diaspora across the globe. And we had to hustle and had to work and had to do what we had to do.
Yeah, man. Well, Miami's like a third world country itself, so we don't.
Yeah, you got a little bit of hair.
Yeah, a lot of island people here.
Yeah, it is. It is covered with. It's a melting pot of everything.
Yeah.
My brother, and so tell me more about the Jamaican side of your family, man. Did you get raised up? Are you fully Jamaican? Or?
So both my parents are Jamaican.
Okay.
My father's mother is Irish. So she left Ireland in 1914 as a young woman and went to Ellis Island. When she went to Ellis Island, that's where she met my grandfather, who was a Jamaican man, and brought her to Jamaica.
Oh, wow.
In like 1920.
No
Damn.
Shit. No
shit. Redheaded Irish chick in Jamaica.
So are you first generation Jamaican American here?
Yeah, I'm the first generation of my family born in America.
Oh, that's awesome, man.
Yeah.
That's awesome, brother.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Hell yeah.
I know you got a couple of brothers and sisters also, right?
Yeah, I got 2 brothers, so I'm the middle child.
Yeah? All right.
It's one of the dopest albums, too, so I love that. I love that shit. Shout out to J. Cole.
Yeah, J. Cole, that's right. It is a dope album. And how was it when you came down to Miami, man? How was that transition from New York?
I loved Miami as a young kid, like, you know.
Because you're Dr. 305 now, baby.
Yeah. So growing up, it was off of 168 down south, you know, right there by Perrine. A little bit north of Goulds. Goulds is a little bit further south, so 168 right by Perrine, West Perrine, and East Perrine right across there.
That's Richmond, ain't it?
So there's Richmond Heights.
Right.
There's West Perrine.
Okay.
There's South Miami Heights.
Okay.
It's all kind of blended together right in that little area.
Right.
So that's where I'm from.
Okay.
And it was cool growing up as a little kid, like in the early 80s, because you could ride your bicycle. It was kind of like the last free zone. I remember there was like a train tracks. We would put pennies on the train tracks and the train would come and flatten them. Now that's the busway.
Yeah.
So I remember they took out the busway. And it was just piles of dirt for like 5 years.
Yeah, I remember that.
You remember that, right?
Yeah.
So we had a neighbor. His name was Carlos. Looking back, I'm like, dude.
That's not the Carlos. Where you at? You heard?
I think it's Sergeant Carlos now because he's with like Miami-Dade Police.
Sergeant Carlos, what up?
So so I look back, I'm like, dude, this guy was like 26 years old, right? He had a 3-wheeler, the ATV kind. And my dad would just let us go hang out with him in his house. Like, I would never let, like we didn't even really know him, man, you know, like that. But that's how it was back then. And he would take us out there to those dirt mounds on the busway, and that's where we learned to ride. And you know, you see me shaking my shoulder out now, man. It's because I used to jump those dirt ramps on a 3-wheeler.
Absolutely.
You know, 3 lakes over there off 152 where they have all those lakes? That's where everybody used to tear it up. Now everybody's got to go down, you know, all the way down to Florida City. We used to do it right there off of 152, man. That's how long I've been out here, man.
Yeah. Now everybody goes to the hump and shit now for the
exactly. Back in the day, you could do it right off there off 152.
Yeah. Let me tell you, when we moved from the Bronx to Miami, I was like probably like 9 years old, right? And the same nostalgia that you felt, right? Like, yo, at that age, you was like, well, I could go play.
Yeah, you could go out.
I go right there with that green grass right there in New York. At that age,
exactly.
The grass right there. I could go. There's 3 pools in my complex. What?
Yeah.
I ain't never going back.
Cold. I don't need a jacket.
Parking. What? We can park wherever we want because in New York you can't. Shit.
You have a driveway. You could take a tree house. You know,
it was a wrap. I was like, I ain't never going back.
It was fun, man. It was
That's true. There's actually grass on the ground over here. When you get here from New York, there's grass.
Yeah, play football on the street.
You gotta go to Central Park. You know what I'm saying, just to get the vibe.
So that was a cool time to grow up for sure.
Yeah. No, and that was a great neighborhood to grow up in back then too. You saw a lot of Miami get built up because back then that was kind of like the edge of Miami almost. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there was like just south of that was all farms.
Right.
You know, it was all farmland and the redlands and ranches and everything like that. So yeah.
Yep. Let me ask you, growing up, did you ever take trips to Jamaica as a
Never.
kid? Never?
My family never went back to Jamaica. It wasn't a good separation for my family, to be honest with you. A lot of, like I said, they lost everything, man.
Right.
They lost everything, and they reestablished themselves here. My mom finally went back about 8 years ago. And then over the past 10 years, we've been going back periodically, and now I go back about every year.
Okay.
I try to go
dope,
twice,
man.
2-3 times a year.
Yeah.
And it's something that I'm really trying to reconnect to, especially on a spiritual level, because a lot of the indoctrination that we receive in America points us in a certain direction. And then when you realize that there's another way to live, there's another way to feel, there's another way to experience, and that's part of who you are.
Absolutely.
It draws you. So the first time I went to Jamaica, my boy Killian from Atlanta, I had made a thing with him. I was like, off the cuff one day, he's like, yo, on my 40th birthday, we're going to Jamaica. I was like, no doubt. So he texted me. He's like, yo, my wife bought the tickets to Jamaica. You got to hit Cap in her bank account. Here's her bank account number. His wife is like in the military. I'm like, oh shit, now I owe her $1,000. So like, I'm going to Jamaica. You know what I'm saying? She already booked my ticket, you know?
Yeah.
So anyway, so we get down there, man, and it was incredible, man. It was incredible. The first night I got there, drinking the water, eating the food, putting my feet on the earth, it grounded me. I actually fell asleep and dreamed for the first time in about 10 years.
Damn.
I would fall asleep and not dream. I would just fall asleep and wake up. And that night, when I laid my head down in Jamaica, I was able to dream, and I was able to be active in my dreams in a different state. And ever since I've been there, I've been able to connect with different parts of my subconscious.
I can see that because you know what, you've been my boy for a while now, man, a couple years, and I see to me you're a very spiritual person, you're a very deep person, and from all the Jamaicans that I know and I know well, they're very spiritual people. So I can see you connecting back to Jamaica, and I see those roots in you. You know what I mean? And I see where you could connect back to your motherland, and
that's something we plan on doing. And that's something we are going to do. We're going to go. You know, we already see that. We know we're going to be there.
1,000% I'm there with you.
Yeah. And I'm looking forward to actually sharing Jamaica with more people. That's something that's on the plans.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh yeah.
Have you taken your kids there?
My kids haven't been yet. They're going to go this summer.
They got the roots in them, man.
They got the roots in them. You know, they say you're, you know, they say you're from wherever your mother was born.
Right.
So wherever your mother was born in that moment, that's where you were created, in the egg. Woman is born with every egg she ever has, every egg she ever ovulates, you know? So I came from Silent Hill, Jamaica, and I feel that in my heart. And it's something that I'm very proud of, because there's a lot of people that don't understand. They look at Jamaica and they say, oh, well, it's a third world country or this and that. And they don't understand the tyranny and the oppression that was brought upon those people. And the reason why our food is so good is because we had to bury the food in the ground for days to cook it without smoke, so that they couldn't find our camps, so that the slaves could revolt. And if you go to Jamaica and you see my family that's from there, they're still on the captured land that was the ginger plantation that they worked. So...
Man, that's deep.
Yeah, hell yeah. No,
Deep,
he's deep rooted, man. Me and Doc have had some great conversations. That's
so
why
I do a lot of what I do for them, and a lot of people that I don't even know, but I know that they're toil. You know, I know my grandmother's toil. It wasn't easy life.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely, brother. And, you know, you were able to, I mean, your family was able to come over here, you know what I mean, and thank God, make a better life, man. And
super lucky, man, being born in America, having all the opportunity in the world. And that's what my parents instilled in me, is that America's a land of opportunity, and that if you work hard and you go after it, you can get it.
Yeah.
And I watched that, you know, from when I was a kid.
Yep. You know what? Today marks a special day for me. Today's May 6th. You know, by the time you guys are watching this, it won't be May 6th no more. But today's May 6th. Today I've been out of prison 15 years. I walked out of a Florida prison.
Wow.
And still had many bumps in the road, but I was able to find myself, and I'm at where I'm at today.
God bless.
Thank you very much.
Hell yeah.
But I'm bringing that up for a reason, because I know you growing up here, I know you had many bumps in the road as a young man yourself. You know what I mean? You didn't have an easy life.
Nah, man.
Yours wasn't a straight path to being Dr. Richard Alexander. So, I mean, you know, can we talk back on your youth and some wrestling,
how we got in all that?
Exactly.
So it's amazing that we're here tonight.
Absolutely.
And that's something that we should celebrate, is your freedom and your emancipation. And I'm very proud of you.
Thank you very much.
On your journey.
It means the world coming from you.
It takes a lot for man to go through that and to not let it break them, and to make it build them into who you are. And I'm very proud of you. And you inspire a lot of people, including myself.
Thank you, brother.
And it's not an accident that just the way the GPS routed me here today brought me past TGK.
Yeah.
Anytime I come close to TGK, I can feel the energy. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm TGK alumni. You know, I've been there. I know what the zip ties feel like in the summer. And it's no joke. I learned that at an early age. And that's where you really find out that the decisions you make on the streets and the things that you do day to day and the way that you live can affect not only you but other people.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So blessings to be here with you today
Hell
to celebrate
yeah. Damn,
that.
blessing. Hell yeah.
Thank you, my brother.
I feel the energy right now, bro.
Yeah.
We're going to Jamaica tomorrow.
I think a turning point, like for people that are really from Miami, that are from down south, that really live down south, the turning point in all of our lives was Hurricane Andrew.
Yeah.
Hurricane Andrew in 1992, that was really the turning point. So
August 24, 1992.
Yeah. So it went from being like I said, like a pristine neighborhood, like riding bicycles, everything kind of cool. You know, there was like a little bit of crime. People would steal your bicycles, you know, a couple people steal your car, but nothing too sinister. Once that hurricane came, it was like a bomb went off, you know, from 152nd Street South. I remember that morning we came out, and it was like complete devastation. Our house, the roof had blown off completely. My mom, I remember her getting nails and nailing them during the storm into the frame of the door, and then getting the metal coat hangers from like dry cleaning and taking them, and we would put the nails in the door and the nail in the frame, and we were tying the doors to the wall because the doors were being sucked out because the house had depressurized.
Yeah, I remember that.
That's how serious it was. And so after that storm, it was complete chaos in the South. People just evacuated, left, and never came back. And we were just left in the remnants of that. And we had to just like pick up the pieces. And I think that's where the street life kind of came in for me, was that we were just lost in the streets, you know, and just did whatever we had to do to make a couple bucks and survive, and, you know.
Absolutely. And I remember something huge I remember from those times. When 1992, I was 11 years old. But I'll never forget leaving my house after Hurricane Andrew and seeing all the signs. You loot, we shoot. Yeah.
I spray painted that on my house.
Did you? Yeah, man. That was everywhere. Everywhere. You loot, we shoot.
Yeah, a couple of days after the storm, my dad, there was all kinds of debris. We were going through some debris. He found a 22 high standard, and that's what we had. We had a 22 high standard with the hair trigger, and we would set up all night. And I remember we had this dog. He was a mixed Rottweiler pit. He was like the worst dog ever. We had him chained up in the back. He would bite anybody, including the hand that fed him. His mother tried to kill him.
That dog from the Sandlot.
Yeah. His name was Axel. He was named after Axl Rose.
Shit.
Yeah. And that dog, I remember during the storm, the vent in the laundry room blew off. And right before that, we were outside trying to unchain this dog in the storm, and because we forgot about him out there, and now the storm is coming, and literally lightning strikes and splits a tree in half 10 feet from me and my dad while we're trying to cut the chain off this dog's neck with a hacksaw. We cut the chain off, we get the dog in, whatever. The house explodes during the storm. We end up, me and my dad, like, okay, this part of the house is gone. We need to like secure this back part. So we start ripping apart cabinets, anything that you can grab to start securing and nailing to the back part of the house as the last, enclave and shelter, because everything else is going. And we go into the laundry room, and the dog is being pulled out of the whirlybird. He's like halfway up. He's by the chain, and his feet are there, and he's going out the vent.
Yeah.
I jump up, I grab the dog, I pull him down, and my dad gets. He has like a cabinet like this, and from right here, it just sucked up to the ceiling. And just stuck there.
No shit.
Holy shit.
And that dog, after that day, that was the most loyal dog that ever lived. He sat on that front porch, no chain on, and nobody came at the crib, dog.
That sounds like the movie Twister,
Nobody
man.
came at the crib.
Oh,
after that.
that's
Axl was
sick.
on point.
Yeah, he was like, these people love me, bro. They save me, bro.
He's buried in the yard, man. He's
Is he?
Yeah, he's right there. He's right there.
Axl,
We
man.
pour it out for him
Axl,
every
bro.
once in a while, man.
Axl, if you're looking down, bro, protect us, bro. You already know. We love you, bro.
That's awesome, man. I want to give while we're here, a little shout out to Palmetto High School, man. I know you were a wrestling alumni for them too,
man.
right?
Yeah, Palmetto. So
your son's over there now too wrestling, ain't
So I'm so proud of the Palmetto alumni. Can I just say this?
Of course.
Yeah,
Okay,
hell
absolutely.
yeah.
I think we have the first ever 2-time Surgeon General.
Oh, that's awesome.
in office. We have astronauts, Jeff Bezos.
Yep,
You know,
Jeff Bezos.
it's unbelievable, the Palmetto alumni. Our brother that did the song with you, Solo D.
Solo D.
Palmetto alumni.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just so deep. So I wrestled for Palmetto from 1996 to 1998. And it was an awesome time, man, because we were undefeated the entire time I was there. We never lost a dual meet.
That's awesome.
Damn,
The
hell
entire
yeah.
time I was there. We won a state championship when I was in 10th grade, and then we were runners-up the next 2 years at the state championships.
That's badass. And now your son's there doing
And now my son is there, and he's way better than I ever was.
Let's
And
go.
he's in
Letting
10th
it
grade,
rip. Let's go.
And
That's awesome,
it's just kind of crazy. Like, I pull up there, and there's like this, big dreadhead hanging out at the school, like right where I used to hang out, and it's like, damn, man, time flies, man. I can't believe it.
How good does it feel to see your son fucking kicking ass, man?
It feels amazing, man. It feels amazing. And it's like, I coached him for a few years at the middle school. I was the head coach at the middle school for a couple of years, which was one of the best experiences of my life. And, seeing him go from just getting choke slammed to actually being a very good wrestler and having technique and a passion for it, it's awesome, man. That's He made it to the state championships as a 9th grader at 195.
That's amazing.
Damn, hell yeah.
I feel you there because my son grew up wrestling himself, went to college for wrestling, man, and it was an amazing feeling. Every time I would see him get his hand raised, I'd cry, bro. You know what I mean? Honestly. But brother, let's get to like the nitty gritty of how we became Dr. Richard Alexander.
Because we went through the high school vibe. You know what I'm saying? We did grow up, and then the transition said, "All right, I want to align. I want to give people alignments."
So that change happened when I was. So basically, I was at University of Central Florida. I was playing rugby. I was just kind of having fun,
Nice.
Rugby?
Yeah, I was playing rugby.
Shit.
You beat the shit out of people.
Yeah. So no one knows me there as Richard Alexander. They know me as high tackle.
Nice.
Boy, it was taking people's heads off.
Yeah, exactly.
Hell
So
yeah.
which in rugby is a penalty. That's the equivalent of unsportsmanlike conduct or like excessive face mask.
That's right.
So what would happen is these dudes would be running the ball. And they would try to dick their shoulders and cut. And I would just grab them by the chest and just like slam them to the ground. Power slam their ass, man. Just like cut them in half.
I can picture that shit.
Yeah, so that's how I got the name high tackle. But that was one of the best experiences of my life because rugby is an international sport.
Absolutely. Yep.
So,
Hell yeah.
so it's
Tough guy sport too, man.
Oh man, So there's 15 versus 15, no pads, and one referee on the field. and it's got a kind of a hockey element. So I was able to play a little bit of a goon out there. Nice. So that was always fun, you know what I mean? And I got to meet people from all parts of the world. You know, it's huge in Argentina, it's huge in Japan, all around the world. So Australia. So we had players and people from all those different places, and then I ended up living in a rugby house with a bunch of guys. And having a great time.
Drinking, oi, oi, oi.
Yeah. and just chilling, you know what I'm saying? Like, we were playing rugby.
Hot tackle, come here, check one of these.
Yeah, doing a rugby shot. So then one morning, my roommate comes and bangs on the door, and he's like, a plane went into the World Trade Center.
Oh, fuck.
Oh, shit. And
I remember I woke up, I had a poster up above me, I put on the ceiling of Starry, Starry Night from Van Gogh, which is my favorite painting. I'll go and stare at a Van Gogh for 5 hours when I'm in Manhattan. You know, I'll go to the Met and just stand there for 5 hours. And I can remember just opening my eyes, seeing that, and then him telling me that and going out. And as I went to the living room, the second plane came in. And that moment changed my life forever. It stopped all the bullshit.
Yeah.
It stopped everything. In that moment, I realized there was evil, true evil in this world. Not just beef, not street shit, not, oh, I owe you some money, or I don't like you, you got my girl, you know what I'm saying, I'm jealous. No. Like, someone wants to completely destroy you and annihilate you, and they don't think that you're a human being. So what happened in that moment changed me forever. And I decided that I was going to leave University of Central Florida, because things, like I said, I was just having fun. I wasn't really doing anything. And I was going to go to the Borough of Manhattan Community College, which is 1 block from the World Trade Center. That's where I went to school. I said, you know what, I'm going to transfer back to New York. I had a job there. I was working up there. So I went back to New York, started working in the restaurants again, living in Manhattan. And then 2 weeks later, after I signed up for classes, I got recruited by Homeland Security Anti-Terrorism through Lockheed Martin.
Oh, shit.
And it was one of the most incredible experiences of my life. So I went from being oi, 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 on a Tuesday.
Hot tackle, come here, take one of these.
Yeah. To like a couple weeks later, because when I was at UCF, I was a criminal justice major, so I had a lot of criminal justice credits. I was already on that path. I was going to go to law school, so I got recruited by Homeland Security. I ended up traveling to the Johnson Aviation Federal Training Facility in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, and that's where I became a Homeland Security anti-terrorism instructor. I was one of the first class of Homeland Security anti-terrorism instructors in the country. And
did you have to sign up to that, or
no,
how did that happen?
I was recruited. It was like some shit from like Jason
Bourne.
It was crazy.
From? What was that? Real quick, sorry to interrupt. Was that the building where Timothy McVeigh had?
So the building where Timothy McVeigh
had blown up in Oklahoma City.
The memorial is there now.
Okay,
and I was able to visit that when I was there.
All right,
but that's where I did my training, and then after that, I traveled around the entire country, training the first class of the TSA. So there was no TSA before 9/11.
Right.
You would go to the airport, and it was like Orlando would have Whacking Hut. These guys would have, top flight security. Where, Craig? You know what I'm saying? So we created the TSA, right. And it's something that I'm very proud of. The TSA gets a bad rap, because you got to take off your shoes and stuff like that. But at that time, the intel that we were getting, people were actually making shoe bombs. People were actually making underwear bombs. Yep. And so we trained every aspect of anti-terrorism, from explosive trace detection to metal detector to pat down. So I think I'm actually the first chiropractor in the world who can look at an x-ray and detect whether or not you have a bomb or a spinal problem.
Oh, shit. That's awesome.
Shit.
That's awesome, man. But so how'd you get, how'd you from Homeland Security, how we start doing adjustments?
So they fly me.
Not cracking backs, by the way.
Adjustments. Thank you for that. So they fly me one day so they would fly me all around the country. So one day they fly me to St. Croix, and something happens with my ticket, and they end up upgrading me to first class. I've never been in first class. I'm from West Perrine, dude. I've only bus tables. All my jobs is back waiter in Manhattan. I'm just, doing silverware, Now I'm I got my blazer on. They're like, oh, sir, here's your seat, first class, champagne. And there was a gentleman who sat next to me, and he could tell it was my first time in first class. And he just walked me through it. He was like, hey, buddy, just relax, chill, I got you. He ordered everything, you know what I'm saying? Steak salad. He took his glasses out. He took his glasses out of this tiny case, put them on and read, and we sat, we talked, we did our own thing, because it was a very long flight, from Wyoming or something to St. Croix. And then I went and I stayed at the Buccaneer, and I trained the people at St. Croix. And in that moment, I realized I couldn't go back to just not using what I had, because I could see what I was doing for people was changing them. I would wake up in the morning in St. Croix, and it's 150 degrees in the summer in St. Croix. And these gentlemen who are going to be the first Homeland, the first TSA guys that are going to be there checking your bag, they're walking up a hill in a full suit, sweating profusely, an hour and a half early for class. If they did a test and they missed the bomb, they would cry. And in that whole experience, that's what solidified, I have to do something more. And then we had a friend who was a chiropractor, and he was a wild boy. His name was Dr. George from the Bronx, God rest his soul.
Oh, man.
And he was a chiropractor. And once I saw him doing the chiropractic, I put 2 and 2 together. And I said, you know what? Let me go for it.
That's the vibe.
That's awesome, man. And it's crazy how life is, man. How somebody, you're in a plane having a conversation with somebody, and you feel, things.
I couldn't go back. I couldn't go back. It's like you said, when I've heard you talk about when you made the change when you got out of prison.
Yeah.
That was one life, and you walk away from it. And that's kind of what happened to me. I had to be more serious. I had to use what I've been blessed with.
You found a calling, and it was helping people out through chiropractic, which I'm glad you found, because you helped the shit out of me all the time.
Yeah, me too, bro. You saw the video that we made when we went?
Yeah.
People loved it. I got mad shares on social media on that thing, bro.
Awesome.
No, this guy's amazing with his hands. What I love what he does, if you look at him when he does things, he has his eyes closed, and he does it by feel. He's something else, man.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Hey, you touched on something earlier. When you were laying in your bed and you were looking up at Van Gogh, and I know you're big into art. We've talked about this before. And we got some Romero Brito art.
Oh, shit.
we got some funny stories about it.
So you want to know that one?
Yeah. Right, so if you don't mind talking about that one, if you could, it'd be awesome, because that's a great story.
That's a great one. So the maestro, Romero Brito, who's a huge inspiration to me. So one night we're out at a friend's party, and I remember that night I didn't really want to go out. It was out on the beach. I was like, the beach is so far. I had worked a full shift. I'm like, you know what? Let's just go. So we go, had a nice time. Me and my wife, we're leaving. She's driving. And as we're driving on the beach, all of a sudden, boom, our side mirror explodes.
Oh, hell no.
Just the driver's side mirror, just someone opens the door of like a Suburban, boom, just explodes the side mirror. I'm like, I don't know if the car is fucked up. Like, I don't know what's about to happen. So she pulls over the car. I jump out.
By the way, he's jumping out of the car. This dude's about 6'3", 270. He's a sight to be seen, but.
So I jump out of the car, and I'm like, yo, you hit the car. What do you want to do? You want to call the police? You want to do what? I'm like,
you want to get strangled?
You want to get body slammed?
Yeah. And the whole time,
hot tackle,
I'm so like amped. I'm so like turned up from the whole thing that I don't realize it's Romero Brito at all. I have no idea who this dude is. It's just like him and his entourage. I'm like, yo, y'all got to hit the ATM. And he's right outside some brand new club. It's got like 10 Russian bouncers who are all just like staring at me. And I'm like, yo, you got to go in the club. We got to go together in the club and get money, man. You got to hit the ATM, dog. You got to pay for this window, man. I'm not about to fix this. So he goes to the ATM.
Pocket, Romero.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I apologize, dog. This shit really happened, man. I ran his pockets on the block. He got the money, and then he came back with the money. Before he got back with the money, my wife is like, come here. She's like, yo, that's Romero Brito. I'm like, I look. And all of a sudden, the rage, everything that I was seeing, all the, years of people trying to get over on me, and, I'm like, I look, and I'm like, this dude's got on Swarovski crystal high heel boots.
Sure enough.
I'm like, this is him. You know what I'm saying? He's like, and I look at him, I'm like, you know what, man? I'm like, I'm sorry, I'm so hyped up. I just got scared when, the whole thing happened. I said, what about instead of giving me money, how about you gave me one of your pieces? And he just looks at me and goes, you would like that? And I said, I would love that. And so the next morning I call him up. He gave me his number. I called him up. The next morning I go to his studio. He shows up. We hang out all day, right?
Damn.
It was one of the funniest things, man. So we show up. He has this beautiful piece of art, right? Custom signature. Takes it out, autographs it for us, autographs a bunch of books for my kids, takes us in the studio. My daughter is painting with him. He's like, are you guys hungry? You know what? Let's go to Joe's. Let's go to Joe's Stone Crab, man.
Oh.
So what does Romero Brito do? He orders Joe's Stone Crab to go. Who does that? It's like the most expensive, right? He ordered that shit to go. We went up to the top penthouse of a condo. One of his friends.
A $500 takeout order.
Yeah, maybe 5,000.
Yeah,
takeout order. It was ridiculous, man. And we hung out on the top of this penthouse over Smith and Lewinsky. And like I said, it was in the beginning of my career as a chiropractor when I was just struggling to just do anything in my life. You still
had some street in you too.
Yeah, and I'm like, all of a sudden, I'm on this penthouse. I'm eating stone crab with Romero Brito, and I remember my wife looked at me and she goes, "You belong here."
Yeah.
Just like that.
That's awesome. It's
and,
powerful, man.
And I started to study him more because I knew a little bit about his story coming from Brazil to this country in Coconut Grove, which I spent a lot of time growing up in the Grove. That Grove was popping back in the day. You remember the Grove?
Hell yeah.
And so to come from painting on newspaper, his most expensive paintings are on newspaper.
Yeah.
Because he didn't have money to buy paper.
Right.
He would just get scraps of paper and paint on it.
And now it's
worth millions.
Yeah.
And he's so consistent. He's such a nice person. And I learned a lot from that. I learned a lot from that experience, and it encouraged me to let my voice out. And I have a voice that I suppressed for a long time, and experiences like that helped me get it out. So
help you let it rip.
Man. Thank you for the piece. It's still hanging. We have a beautiful halogen light that lights it. You can see the glitter. Everything is beautiful.
Well, guess what? I'm gonna throw in our alley. What's up? You want to get one right here? We're gonna replace this right here. Put a bit right there.
No, it's a badass piece for
Hell
yeah. Sick. Wine country.
The baddest piece. I mean, the baddest part about the whole story is how he got it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, but it was dope though. That was a good story.
And I remember I told him. I was like, hey man, I'm sorry last night if I was like super aggressive because there were so many bouncers there, man. There was like 10 Russian bouncers, and I was, on edge. And he was like, they were all afraid of you. He's like, everyone's just afraid of you, man. But he was super cool, man. Much love to him.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
My brother, I know you moved into a new office, huge space.
Yes.
I was there today. Badass office, man.
Yeah, thank you.
Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Spine Miami 3.0 just launched.
That's awesome. That's awesome, man. That's
Let's
awesome.
go.
It's the third iteration.
What got you motivated to get that new spot? Because I know you were comfortable. I mean, you're right down the hallway, but you're comfortable in your spot where you were at.
Yeah.
I love when people, get out of their comfort zone a little bit and make things happen, brother. And you're one of those people who make things happen, man.
I think it was time. I think it's one of those things that it was time, and I think it was exactly what you said. I was comfortable. I could just chill and just do what I was doing for a long time, and I realized I have to help more people. And you told me that. A lot of people told me that, that I need to help as many people as I can, put as many hands on as many people as I can, and bring technology to bear. I have a lot of technology that we're going to be bringing to bear. It's 2021. We have to use all of our resources as well as chiropractic. I'm licensed as a chiropractor, and I love to deliver the chiropractic adjustment because it's the most powerful thing that you can do for a human to unlock their nervous system and allow their body to communicate. But at the same time, I'm also licensed for physical therapy. So in the new practice, we're going to be able to expand some of the physical therapy aspects and the performance recovery aspects when we're working with professional fighters such as yourself, who's going up for a world championship, which congratulations, by the way, for being ranked the number one 175-pound bare knuckle fighter in the world.
Thank you.
That says a lot. And so we want to make sure that we have all the facilities in place to take care of athletes that are on your level and the regular people too, because look at it. At the end of the day, the bus driver has people that you love in the bus when taking them to school in the morning, and they got to have their rotator cuff right too. So we want to be able to take care of the top level athletes and everyone in between. And that was my pledge when I came back home. I put my practice walking distance from my mom's house. I'm still in the hood. I never left. We're still there, and we're helping the people. We're bringing world-class care right there to the neighborhood. So
that's awesome, my brother. And what I love about it is like every single one of your patients. I've been there, I've been in the waiting room, I've been in the office. You actually introduced me to somebody today in your office. Everybody, this guy's family, man. With everybody. He knows every patient's first and last name. He knows what they like, what they drive, what they eat. And that's awesome, especially coming from somebody like in your practice. That's what you want. You want somebody that cares.
Well, I try not to practice chiropractic as a business.
Right.
Business is separate. Chiropractic is a science, a philosophy, and an art, and it's a service industry where I give back to the community. It's similar to maybe coaching or teaching or being a priest. Yeah. It's not. I don't do it for the money. We have to charge sometimes.
Of course, everybody's got to eat.
But I don't do it for that.
Right.
When I'm actually doing the chiropractic, the business side is the business side. Investments are investments. That's what Bitcoin and Doge and all that stuff is for. When I get in a room with the person, once Brandy lets them in the door, which shout out to my office manager, Brandy.
Shout out to Brandy, man.
Brandy,
Brandy keeps that. Wait a minute.
She makes sure that once that person walks through the door, I can just focus on them and their health and take the time, because a lot of times as a chiropractor, sometimes the most important thing I can do is make a referral, whether it's to mental health, whether it's to a dermatologist. You have to look at people, make sure that you don't have a skin cancer, what's happening to somebody, and really take your time and see if that person needs some other intervention other than just come in, let me just snap you real quick. That's not what I do. That's not what I do. I really try to connect with people on a deeper level and educate them so that way they understand what's happening with their body, because what's happening is people are being overwhelmed with information from people that are uneducated, and the loudest voices are not the best, and they're lost, and they're looking for something. And so I got to make sure that I take the time to still connect with people.
Hell yeah.
That's why I feel you're so successful, and going to be more successful as the time passes by, because you do care. You know what I mean? And I feel like people who care, and it's like I say, I don't work a day in my life because I do what I love, and that's how I feel like you are with you. It feels like,
I love it.
Exactly.
It's amazing. I remember I was tutoring. I was a teacher in Melbourne, Florida, after I graduated with my bachelor's degree for a couple of years. So I was teaching at a school for emotional...
Not the 305 done done it all, man.
So after my stint in Atlanta, you know what I'm saying, I spent a couple...
Hey, by the way, he's also a boat captain. I've been on the boat with him to take me out to the Keys, man. Crazy.
Yeah, soon to be Captain 305, man.
Let's go.
Game, man. We're trying to get that Dusky 33, man.
Awesome.
Just go offshore,
Let's
man.
go.
But yeah, so I was teaching out there in Melbourne, Florida, and I would at night when I was tutoring these kids, I'd have them doing tests. I would get the book of different careers and things like that, and I would look through it. And I remember seeing that chiropractic, if you were successful at chiropractic, your rate of happiness would be tremendous. That's awesome. It's hard to succeed. It's not like being a medical doctor where, okay, you're a medical doctor, there's jobs lined up for you because there's hospitals and things like that. Most chiropractors are in private practice. Yeah. So if you're able to succeed, your level of happiness will be tremendous. And I'm at the point now where I'm starting to experience that, not financially, but through the love that the people show me. People truly appreciate the relief that they get from the chiropractic adjustment. It's not even me, it's the chiropractic. And I was blessed to have incredible professors at Life University, and they did a tremendous job educating me, and I'm just standing on the shoulders of giants, man. The guys that taught me were beasts. They were on a different level. They didn't even have the technology. They didn't even have MRI, and they were able to ascertain information that was incredible and that is only now being proven through modern science, through CT scans, through all this technology that's come decades and decades later. After these guys would take bodies and throw them in a vat of acid, you know what I mean? And that's how they learned about the spine, So to go from learning about the spine to just having a family relationship with thousands of people that I've put my hands on and healed, it's incredible, man. It's such a blessing.
Hey, I'm glad to be one of those people that you heal.
Me too,
on
bro.
a weekly basis. I'm there weekly, baby.
I think I remember when Mike sent you a picture of me laying downstairs on the floor.
Now here's the thing, man. You play too much.
What?
I legit thought you were playing around, man. I'm like, he sent me the picture. I'm like, all right, what's up?
Tell him to get up.
Yeah,
I was hurt. He was like, oh damn, for real? Do I call the ambulance or do I call Doc?
That was before you went, right?
Yeah, that was before.
Is that the first time that happened to you?
No, I mean, I later on found out that it was just the way that I was sleeping.
You're sleeping messed up. You got a little twinge, right?
Because it's no days off, right? So when I get home, I really don't. I mean, I get home and I'm home, but then when I lay bed, I'm like, all right, cool, is everything running properly? And when I lay my head on the backboard, that shit messed me up. But I woke up, bro. Like I was like, yo, you're right, kid.
But you felt that fire. You felt that fire, right?
Yeah.
So that's the thing that unites a lot of people in my practice at Spine Miami is the suffering, right? Like I know you've been through it.
Yes, sir.
You've been through it.
I had back surgery myself, so I know exactly.
Yeah. When you're going through spine pain and you're going through all that stuff, it can change your life, and it can be super depressing. It can affect your work, affect your marriage, affect all those things. So one of my favorite things is when I have female patients who've been hurt and you see them come in and they can barely walk. They're wearing Crocs. The hair's messed up, everything. And then you start working, and then a couple adjustments later, they come in high heels and they're looking good again. They're feeling good. They look 10 years young. They're glowing again. And you see the life return to people. Athletes come back from those injuries and win fights and things like that. So it's great, man. I try to absorb all that energy.
I definitely walked out glowing from your office, bro. But today was one of them. Shit. Doc, man, I want to get into something that we talk about every episode. I know you've seen it. I know you know it's coming. In December, Donald Trump signed a $2.3 trillion COVID bill. Some shit. It gets complicated, but you know
weird.
what it is.
Yeah, I've heard about it.
But in that bill, he signed that 180 days after signing that bill, they had to release all UFO information. I've been on UFO shit all day today. For some reason, it's just been on my podcast, everything I listen to. But as of today, there's 51 days left till we find out what the fuck's going on.
What's going on?
Yeah. Do you has that crossed your mind? Do you ever think about UFOs? Do you ever think about fucking extraterrestrial shit? Today I learned something called Ultra. It's
MK Ultra?
Oh no, that's what they do every year on downtown.
Yeah. There are funny names there too, for real. No, but it's called ultra life forms, where they were saying it's not out of this universe, but it's actually like in this universe, maybe on the ocean or some shit like that. They, someone explain shit.
Yeah, the ocean is deep.
So it brings it back to the whole Jamaica thing, right? So it brings it back to the whole Jamaica thing. So before I started really going to Jamaica a lot and traveling down there, I would watch videos. And there's this one Rastafarian who lives in the mountains in Bongo Roach who I would watch. And I'd listen to his teachings and his things, and I would watch him. And late at night, I would visualize myself in the mountains there with him, walking through the bush and feeling it. And I would sit and I would vibrate, and I would sit in my mom's yard, and I would no one would be there, just the crickets. And I would vibrate with Bongo Roach, and I would put myself there into the mountains. And then like a couple years later, I'm chilling at my friend's house up in the mountains. And he's like, "Hey, Rich, I got to introduce you to somebody. You got to meet this guy." And I walk over. This is up at Zimbali. And he's like, "This is Bongo Roach." And he's standing there.
Holy shit.
And he looks at me, and we look at each other, and we lock eyes.
Bomba clut.
And he knows me.
No shit.
What?
He knows me, right? He just looks at me. And this man is a descendant of African king. He's like 6'6". Like he carries like coconuts and all this stuff up mountains by himself. He's a true Rastafarian. And he, looks at me, and we embrace, and he pulls me in and looks me dead in my eyes and goes, "I know you. You've been here. Your size, I know your spirit and your energy." And people are like, they laugh and stuff like that you could astral project yourself, right? That you could put your consciousness into somewhere else. But once you start to really dive deep into the brain and understand electromagnetism and what consciousness is, that every thought you've ever had is a piece of electricity that's traveling through an impulse, right? And that the cell phone that you use is only using an electrical impulse that has gold, iron, rare earth metals that are inside of you. You have hemoglobin, you have iron inside of you. You have all of these materials, magnesium, it's inside of you. You have the ability to transport energy. That's why they can put electrodes on you and see the pattern of your heart. That's what the EKG is, the flow of electricity through you. So the more that we're able to understand what human beings are capable of doing, it's possible to understand that perhaps in the future, a person could send their consciousness or send their energy in a wavelength that could transmit. Because waves, electromagnetism, the way it works is if a wave is traveling and another wave meets it in the exact opposite direction, it cancels that wave. But if two waves meet together, it's called wave summation. The wave doubles in more force and more energy. That's what we have. We have that energy. So when we get together, we're bringing a wave of energy. And people say, "Oh, he's got bad energy. He's got good energy." You have to pay attention to that. And I'm going to study more of that. And that's one of the things that I'm looking forward to doing in the new practice, is transitioning more towards the research side of my practice, not just the clinical side, but to use electrical sensors, and EKGs and things like that to establish different points of research for chiropractic and what people are feeling, because I know what you felt, but there's more that we can do to understand that. So when it comes to an extraterrestrial, just imagine that what you are is a piece of soft tissue floating in salt water that it created for itself. Your body was an egg and a sperm. It folded and folded into cells. Then it folded itself in half, and there was an electrical impulse. That's your spine. After that moment, that spine created everything around you out of carbon fiber to float itself inside of salt water. Inside the same saline that's in your brain, your cerebrospinal fluid, is the same salinity as amniotic fluid. It's the same salinity as your tears. It's the same salinity as the ocean. And we are more close to a puppet being controlled by an octopus using an electromagnetic tentacle than we are a person that we think we are. And the more we dive into that, extraterrestrials wouldn't be that far away. When you really look at the spine and you really look at the body and you know energy, and you know when someone who has passed this life comes to you and talks to you, or their spirit is around you, you know that, you feel that. I could see in the future where we could really see that, and I could see how that could be extraterrestrial.
I fucking agree with everything you just said, man, because I've always thought like...
He's an alien, bro.
I feel like I'm
an AT alien for sure.
Listen. We've had 18 episodes, bro. 18? Well, like, somewhat. We're at this point. Look, listen. Doc, you're something else, bro.
No, he definitely is. Definitely. And you
Doc,
know what?
You elevated me,
as
bro.
you were speaking,
you took me on some real... I was about to cry. Real shit, Uly. I was almost about to cry, bro. Of how smart and fucking knowledgeable you are,
and listen,
bro.
No bullshit, bro. As you were speaking and you were explaining this right now, I was remembering how you're a Pisces like me, dog, and I feel them deep fucking. I feel deep rooted to this shit myself, brother.
You know, the night before I came in, I was listening to Aquemini.
Oh,
you know
I love that. I love that album.
And he said, horoscopes often lie.
Yeah, that's true. That's the truth, man.
Yeah, man.
My brother, it was fucking amazing having you here, my brother. Let us know what you got. I mean, I know you just told us a little bit about what's coming up in the future in your practice. Let us know what Dr. 305 has in the near future.
Do you guys have something you do for an exclusive? Do you have like a horn or something? Like, because I got a worldwide exclusive.
Shit, you want me to dance on this table, bro? What you want me to do, Doc?
So we got a nice, we got some breaking news, a worldwide exclusive. I don't even know if you know about this.
I don't. Let me know.
So basically, I signed to First Round Management.
Okay, man.
Oh, let's go. We signing docs out here.
So I'm the official chiropractor for First Round Management.
That's fucking awesome, man. Hell yeah.
Shout out to them boys out there.
First Round Management,
baby, that's family.
So those who don't know, First Round Management is one of the premier organizations for sports management in the world.
Absolutely.
Not just MMA, boxing, wrestling, WWE, bare knuckle fighting, World's Strongest Man, NFL, and it's one of the leading organizations. And one of the things that drove me to sign with FRM and to be with FRM and to work with FRM was that I know that Malky and I know those guys fight for contracts and they fight for their people. So now I'm going to have a whole team behind me to push that content, to push that educational material, and to really educate and elevate, and to be with an organization that understands that chiropractic isn't a joke. It's not a scheme. It's not a gimmick. It's not something you just do. It's something that you do to enhance yourself. It's not something to just put a Band-Aid on. These guys get it. These guys understand that, and I'm super pumped to bring that to the next level, to the professional level, man. It's awesome.
Damn, I'm super pumped.
That's fucking great breaking news, and I'm glad you did that. And
thank you.
I could attest to that firsthand, because First Round Management is my management team. They definitely push for me. They've put me in great positions. Matter of fact, they put me in the position I'm about to be in, fighting for a world title. So shout out to Malky, Abraham.
Malky, you got a studio over there, right?
First Round Music, baby.
A lot of people slept on chiropractic. A lot of people slept on chiropractic, and they didn't understand. And now when these athletes from First Round are going to come out fully aligned, fully tuned up, their opponents are going to be in trouble, because we're going to make sure that these.
You know, I don't fuck around. You're at all my fights. Ready for my fight. He's there, cracking my back. Hey, adjusting me. Adjusting me, and I come out there ready to put hold the people in.
2 seconds, 3 seconds.
Yeah, exactly. 2 second knockout, baby.
Oh, can I say something for the record?
Yeah.
So Laz was on here, right?
Yeah.
Shout out to Laz, legendary Laz. You know, pimp with the lamp, gangster. So when the whole thing happened, I'm there, right? Laz is here, Juice is here. I'm like, I remember you told me, you said, Doc, focus, it's going to be quick. So I'm there, I look, and I remember going like this, like opening my eyes, like to make sure my eyes are open, and no matter what, I hold the phone steady. And dude, when you did that punch, man, I'm telling you, the only thing that reminded me of that, I remember one night we went out fishing at Fowey Lights, and we're coming back through a storm. My wife remembers this night. I'm coming back through a storm from Fowey Lights, and at night on the water, when lightning strikes, right, it comes around you, so you can see it. There's darkness, so you can see the
lights
lightning
the whole sky up.
Lights the whole sky up around you, but then it comes down into the water and explodes in the water, and you can see the light in the water, and you can feel the electricity in the boat, like on the T-top where you're holding on. So the lightning was striking. That's what that was like.
Thank you, brother.
When you hit that, dude, it was like lightning struck in the room. It was one of the craziest things that ever happened. Laz was pouring himself a drink at that moment.
And missed it.
He told me. Yeah. I gave him the video. And for the record, he didn't say, he said, I said, give me the video, bitch. You didn't call me no bitch, Laz. Come on. I gave you the video. You didn't even tag me, man. That's fucked up. But yeah, man, that was incredible, man. That was an incredible moment to witness. I can only compare it to Devin Hester's run back against Duke, watching Floyd Mayweather versus Maidana 1 when he was dodging all those punches. I have never seen something in person like that, man. It was so incredible. And I knew that you were going to do something special that entire time because you have your energy right. You have your mind right. You're in a good place. I'm so proud of you that we're here tonight on the 15-year anniversary, man. And I hope that all these young people out here understand that when you play around in the streets, there's real life ramifications, man. We got a lot of people who are laying off 117th, man, and Caballero Woodlawn. Too many to talk about. Absolutely. All right. Tonight we didn't even get into gun violence and everything that's going on in the city. But to all the young people, you know, whether it's fighting, whether it's rapping, whether it's creative content with your camera, you need to focus on positivity. All right. That's what this is all about.
Straight up, positive vibes only.
Yeah, because don't blink, because before you know it, you got a dreadhead son at Palmetto, and life goes like that.
And thank you for putting me in that category with those legends, man. It's amazing.
No, you are a legend, man. You're a world record holder, brother. You did that.
Hell yeah, bro. You're in the Guinness Book of Records, bro.
It's still amazing to me.
I kind of want to see it downstairs. I told her when I was coming in, I don't, this shoulder's a little gimpy, but I want to just see the speed and the pace. If we can do that, I don't know if we can get.
We'll make it happen.
I want to see what that's like because that punch was so fast. I think it was actually a 1 second knockout, man.
No, it definitely was. It was 1.5.
It was a 1 second knockout. Yeah.
It definitely was. We're kind of going through that with Guinness, so we'll get it right.
Yeah.
But Doc, man. Thank you so much for being here, my brother.
Much love.
I felt the energy the whole time here.
Thank you.
I love you with all my heart, my brother. You're my brother, man. You've looked out for me, and forget, I appreciate the chiropractic you do for me, but me and you are another level of like family, and I appreciate everything you do for me, man.
I'm looking forward to the future, man.
Absolutely.
Much to come.
Hell
yeah,
much growth.
hell yeah.
Yes, hold on real quick before I forget, before we leave this, man. First of all, I got to give a shout out to my boy El Sluggio, EL Sluggio on Instagram. Got me this jersey, this from England, from a team from England, the Wolves, man. Big shout out to you, man. Thank you so much, brother. It's amazing. Shout out to our sponsors, Romero Brothers Lumber Services. You got to move some packages, and boys will move the packages for you. Legit
packages.
That's family. That's right. Romero Slumbers.
That's right, man. Shout out to Arancibia Bell Bonds. Them boys, man. Listen, if you go to jail, call Arancibia Bell Bonds. They get you out. And antibody. What's your antibody? Mine is fighting, man. It keeps my mind right. Keeps me on this path. It keeps me here doing Don't Blink with amazing people around me.
Hell yeah.
So find your antibody, man. Thank you guys so much for everything, man. And hey, we got a raw ass monster shirt.
That's for you right there. Drop the beat, Rex. Drop the beat though. Hold up though. Come on.
Okay.
Let's go. We're gonna do some crazy shit.
Let's do like 4 and 4. We'll just go back and forth a little bit.
Okay. You want to set it off? Let me set it off.
You set it off.
Look, we got the Doc in the house. Hey yo, Rex, turn it up. You already know I'm coming on through and rip it up. Hey yo, Doc, I wanna hear you spit. Let me introduce you to the shit that's let it rip.
Spine, Miami, Dr. 305. 51 days till the aliens arrive. Too nice. We're here on Don't Blink. What you know?
Doc, what you think?
Yo, they want me freestyling. He writing shit. I ain't playing games. Don't blink with it. I'm down south forever. I'm so hood, I can't change. What you know about me, dog, when I switch lanes? Big brightly hound side of the whip. I don't play games. I'm really with the shits. You can see me right now. I can really spit. I don't play games, dog. I'm legit. Big boy down south. I carry weight. 1996, gold teeth in my face. I don't give a fuck, dog. You could get the fade. You might have to edit this. What they gonna say?
They gonna say the Doc ripped it up, and you already know right now we gonna live it up. And everybody watching, put your fucking hands up, cause you already know. Put a grand up, cause ain't nobody do it the way that we do it. Yeah, the way we moving it, the way we move it. Yeah, we got the Doc in the building. He shut it down. Hey yo, Doc, this is your town. Let's go.
You know what I do from the bottom. I came up. I could spot him. I ain't playing game, not no more. I gotta let the voice out, let me roar. Wild beast shit, I'm getting leased. New leases, new whips, no chains. We broke it off. Old game can't get played. What you know too nice. Show them how it goes.
Is Julie going to jump in? Okay, go ahead, Julie.
Go ahead.
Let's go.
Kick it.
When I freestyle, I never really think. And when I fight, you already know.
Don't blink. Shut this shit off. Shut this shit off. It's a wrap. God damn. Damn, that was fucking awesome. Fuck yeah, bro. Damn, Doc, bro. Thank you, man.
I think me and Two Nights got something great going on. We got some great guests coming up. It's gonna be dope. We got some dope people that already signed up to do it with us, which is great. A lot of people show us love, and it's because we love them back for sure.